Morning, everybody. Sam here, United People's TV. It's now, I do this every morning. I keep forgetting what day it is. Wednesday morning. We've signed Raphael Varane. I'm not sure if you've seen the news. I'm pretty sure you have. Right here on United People's TV, we've had our reaction show yesterday. Man United confirmed the deal to sign Raphael Varane from Real Madrid. Such a massive signing for the club, just like Jadon Sancho was. But as we all know, we need a midfield signing, don't we? That's the signing we need to really get this team complete. 11 out of 11 positions sorted and ready for the next season where we can, let's be honest, compete for the Premier League title. So what I want to do in this video is I am going to run through all the midfield targets that Manchester United have been linked with this summer. We've got Declan Rice, Eduardo Camavinga, Ruben Neves, Saul Niguez, Goretzka, Wilfred Ndidi, Dennis Zakaria. There's tons of them. What I'm going to do is run through all of them. We're going to look at the key areas of strength of these players, see exactly where they fit in, and we're making it big, and we're making it interactive as always. So what we're going to do throughout this entire stream, and you're going to be involved in this, is we're going to make ourselves a little tier list. We're going to look at the 7 players there, as I said, that we've mainly been linked with, and we're going to choose between us who our top target is, who our second choice is, and who we're going to put down as the backup options if moves for our top 2 targets do not happen. So what I want you to do throughout the entire stream, as always, you let me know where you're watching from in the comments. I'll try and give you shout outs throughout the entire show. If you want to, please send in your super chats. They always help and support the channel. And if you want to support the channel either on Facebook or on YouTube, you can by becoming a member. There's a little join button down below on YouTube, and on Facebook, there's a link in the description of this video, and also there's a pinned video at the top of the page. It costs less than the price of a pint, and anything you can do will help the channel grow. We're in the process now of bringing in the video editor. We advertised that yesterday, got loads of responses. Keep sending in your emails. I'm going to give it a few days so everybody can have their chance of getting involved. But let's talk about our next big signing. It's not like we're being ungrateful as Manchester United fans. Like the day after we've agreed a deal for Raphael Varane, that we're already talking about our next signing. But that's the ambition of Manchester United fans. That's the ambition that we all should have. We want to win the league next year. Therefore, we need one more key signing. Something that has always been really said about this next signing is the fact that probably sales are going to have to happen before it happens. We got Samuel Luckhurst this morning saying that Manchester United are exploring this option of signing a midfielder, a fullback, or another centre-half. Kieran Trippier, Eduardo Camavinga, Declan Rice, and Pau Torres, all amongst others. A comment here from Joe, as you can see in the chat. Don't spam the chat. If you spam the chat, you're going to get people's elbowed. I'm not actually going to elbow you in the face. That was more of a figure of speech. But don't spam the chat. Get involved and help along the way. I personally think that the midfielder is by far and away the most important signing out of those 3 options. A fullback would be a backup to help Wan-Bissaka. A centre-half would be a backup to Varane and Maguire, whereas a midfielder is probably going to be first choice. So let's have a look here. We've got 7 targets. What I'm going to do is run through them all, one by one. We'll have a little discussion. You can let me know in the comments below which level you think this target lies on. And by the end of it, we would have agreed on who is the prime target. Now, I would say the midfielder that's probably been linked with Manchester United the most this summer. Let me zoom in on that a little bit so you can see it a nice bit bigger. There you go. I'll do that every single one. I would say Declan Rice has been linked with Manchester United the most. Declan Rice, we're probably looking at a price of between 80 and 100 million, in my own opinion. That's what I think. Not that he's worth, but what I think West Ham would ask for him. And therefore, what Manchester United would have to pay if we wanted to sign him. If we're looking at Declan Rice's heat map, he's very much a central midfielder. As we saw with England at the Euro 2021, he played in a sort of double pivot rather than a holding role. But even last season for West Ham, he definitely played more of a less central midfielder, really. If we're looking at what sort of footballer he is, if we're looking at how many passes he makes, it 42 passes, an accuracy of 88% per game. 22 in the opposition half, 84%. That's important. 62% accurate long balls per game, 2.3. Not particularly good in that sense. Neither is he good with the chip passes or the crosses. But I suppose with that sort of midfielder, do you really need them to be excellent at that sort of thing? No, you really need them to be good down here. Interceptions per game, 1.8. Same with tackles. Dribbles, he doesn't really do much of that. Clearances, not important. As I said, he's not really a dribbler. He's not really someone who can take the ball forward. 8.4 possession loss per game. That's quite high. I don't know whether that's high on just Declan Rice, but I will have a look at all the rest of them. But you let me know what you think about Declan Rice in the comments. Which one of these do you think he falls in? Is Declan Rice our top target this summer? Is he the second choice? Or is he a backup option out of these 7 that we are going to run through? You let me know in the comments now, and then I'll choose. Obviously, we can change the list as the video goes on. But would you put Rice down as a top target straight away, as a second choice, or as a backup option? A quick look back at his stats here again. Oh, seems to have reloaded the page, which is really handy. Yeah, I suppose he played quite a similar position for England at the Euros. I didn't really think that in terms of the heat map anyway. Declan Rice for me is a bit overpriced. I can't really look past the fact that he's overpriced. He would cost a lot of money. He really, really would. And I'm just not sure he's worth it. Victor, how you doing? Good morning to you, my friend. How is it out in Australia? Good to see you. Hope you slept well, my friend. Do you think United will really sign a midfielder? Victor, I really do think we would. I really do think we would. I'd be very surprised if Manchester United don't sign a midfielder, given the ambition we've showed by signing Raphael Varane and Jadon Sancho. I'd be surprised if we didn't sign a midfielder. JJ, how you doing? Good morning to you. Remember, Goretzka would be a steal and another leader. We'll definitely get into Goretzka later on. My own honest opinion on him is that Goretzka's using us to get a new contract. But what do you think about Declan Rice? Do you think he's a backup? Do you think he's a first choice? Let's go down to the comments. We've got David saying backup as 100 million, not worth it. Cameron, you're saying a backup choice. Raj, you're saying backup. Ariga, you're saying backup. Hader, you disagree. You're saying he would be a top target. Let's have a look. Malik, you're saying second choice. Manuel, you're saying second choice, but I believe it's Ole's top target. Let's have a look. Fred is better than Rice, says Timothy. That's controversial. Second choice. Look. And then Lone Wanderer, how you doing? Good to see you this morning, my friend. Can't wait to buy that crate of beer. Thank you very much for that. Second choice. Well, there you go. I think it's pretty unanimous there that Declan Rice will come down on the second choice as the first option. And remember that throughout this stream, we can change who's on this tier list, where they are in this tier list. This isn't complete. We're just doing this as we go through. But Declan Rice, as you can see from the comments there, loads of you saying that it's just a bit overpriced for what he is and what Manchester United need. And I'll be honest, I tend to agree with you. Now, the other choice for a player that we've definitely been linked with this summer, and that's Eduardo Camavinga. Sort of came out of nowhere. We didn't really, no one really watched much of him at Rennes last season. 18, a very different type of midfielder to someone like Declan Rice. Obviously, as you can see from his heat map, Declan Rice was out on the left-hand side. We can do this and can quickly compare. He's out there on the left. Camavinga, and this is kind of what Camavinga is. Camavinga doesn't really have a position at the moment. Camavinga is, look, he may have played 35 matches, but his position changes. The formation changes. He's at 18, he's not set in a position in midfield. Let's have a look at what sort of midfielder he is. Accurate passes per game, a little bit less than Declan Rice, 89% excellent accuracy, 93% in his own half, 86% in the opposition half. Let's compare that to Declan Rice. Very similar stats. 88, 91, 84, 89, 93. He's definitely better in his own half. So clearly he's better in his own, maybe better under pressure than Declan Rice. You can compare there. Accurate long balls a little bit better. Tackles per game, much better than Declan Rice. A tackle per game better than Declan Rice. A little bit less on the interceptions and possessions. Dribbles, he's a little bit more confident. Total duels, he's winning 6 by comparison of 4.5. Kind of same, but different. But he's a very different midfielder in the concept that Eduardo Camavinga is only 18. We don't really know how good he is going to be. He is one for the future at the same time that he is one for right now. Eduardo Camavinga, there's nothing to say that he couldn't come in straight away at Manchester United and be an excellent player. I think you can't rule that out. He could be incredible straight away. Nobody can rule that. Like Anthony Martial was in his first season. Nobody expected that, and he just blew it away. Where do you think Eduardo Camavinga lies on our tier list? So we've got Declan Rice there as the second choice. Where does Eduardo Camavinga lie on that list? You let me know in the comments below. I'll read through a few of your comments, and then we'll put them on the list as always. And make sure you keep firing in your super chats. And if you want to, join as a member, become part of the family. As you can see from the comments, it's a great place to be. But Eduardo Camavinga, something that we've definitely seen happen after we've been linked with him, is the fact that Spain has come up as more of a preference for him. Representative of Eduardo Camavinga have held informal discussions with United, but the Rennes midfielder's preference is to move to Spain. That's kind of what we've been seeing quite a lot. And in that sense, are we wrong to go chasing Eduardo Camavinga? Would he be the top choice? Let's head down to the comments and see what you're thinking. There are lots of... We've got Matthew, how you doing as a member? You're saying back up, my friend. Gracie, you're disagreeing. You're saying top target. Emmanuel, top target. JJ, you're saying Camavinga will be a luxury signing. Shining? Good film. He's not even an option. He's not what we are looking for. Okay. Domain, you're saying second choice. Kumaran, you're saying second choice. Cameron, you're saying second choice. At the top. Brandon saying it's a gamble, but it's at the top. Oh, I'll tell you what. First choice, backup, third choice. Ooh, I'm not sure. I'll tell you what. As it stands, as it currently stands, there's more of you saying Camavinga top target than any other player. So right now, as it stands, Camavinga is going in as our top choice. It doesn't mean that he's going to finish as the top target, but looking here, there's a lot of you saying first choice. There's a lot of you, there's a lot of you saying second choice as well. But at the moment, no one's said more of a top target than Camavinga. So he's going to go top of the tier list. And let's see what happens as we develop and we go through our targets. And maybe that'll change with our next one. And that's Ruben Neves. Ruben Neves, he's been linked sort of, I wouldn't say tentatively. It was more linked with the move to Arsenal. And then that sort of got a bit quiet. And then it's being linked to Manchester United. And that's come up. Now, you let me know what you genuinely, honestly think about Ruben Neves. Do you let me know in the comments? You know what I feel about him, but I don't want to force my opinion on you. I want us to make a rounded opinion together. Got Anuj. How you doing, Anuj? Remember, how you doing, my friend? Hi, Sam. When the news broke yesterday and Varane you streamed, I was already in bed. 4.5 hours time difference. That's just rude, isn't it? They announced it when I was in the gym as well, which is even more rude. Neves, you're saying Camavinga is too young. Now, Camavinga certainly is young. It doesn't mean that he'll be terrible, but he's more of an unknown entity, I think we'd say about Camavinga. Someone like Declan Rice or Ruben Neves, you kind of know what you're getting. But let's have a look at Ruben Neves' stats down here. How is he in terms of his passing game? In his own accurate passes per game, 84%. In his own half, very good. Opposition half, he's quite a bit less there. Then let's go compare him to Camavinga. So 79% in the opposition half. Camavinga is there, and he's 86%. What about Declan Rice in the opposition half? 84%. So Ruben Neves, the least good in terms of the accuracy of the progression, in terms of bringing the ball forward. Interceptions per game, 1.8. That's more than Declan Rice. Exactly the same as Declan Rice. More tackles per game. Dribble pass per game, 1.4. Look, Ruben Neves, for me, is a very rounded midfielder. As you can see from Matt, as Matt is saying in the comments here, he's Premier League proven experience, yet still quite young, will be available for a better price than Rice, despite having a similar age. I would go for him as the first choice. You let me know. Oh, sorry, Araneka. Sorry, my friend. I didn't see that. I missed your super chat. I'll make sure I give you a free one next time. You ignore my super chat, but also Ruben Neves top target. So Araneka's saying top target is Ruben Neves. You let me know in the comments now. Where are you putting Ruben Neves on our tier list? Currently, we've got Eduardo Camavinga as the top choice, but we've got Ruben Neves to talk about. We've got Saul Niguez, Leon Goretzka, Wilfred Ndidi, Dennis Sakari. There's so many more midfield targets we've got for going to talk about. But where would you put Ruben Neves on this list? I'll read through a few of your comments as always, and we can see where we rank Ruben Neves. For me, on a personal level, he's the top target. I think that's for the fact that he's 24, he's Premier League experience. He'll be available for 30, 35 million. Therefore, if we sell Lingard and Pereira, it's just in and out. It's very simple, in my own opinion. We've got Kumaran. How you doing, my friend? A member and leaving a super chat. How you doing? Nice to see you. Saying Neves is the most underrated player in the Premier League. Portuguese midfielders never disappoint, says Bruno Fernandes. I don't know any other ones. so I can't compare. But let's see what you think. We've got Jay Shanker. How you doing? You're saying he's a top choice. Got Mav, you're saying backup. Greiser, you're saying top. Coca, you're saying top. Ian Houghton, you're saying joint top with Camavinga. Let's have a look. Ram, you're saying top. Manuel top. Neves top. Neves top. Neves is the only choice. Third choice. Oh, not everyone agrees. But look, looking through the comments, I don't know whether it's because you're just listening to my propaganda or whether you genuinely think that Ruben Neves is our actual top target. But I'll say it's probably a bit of both. Because looking at this, I'm probably going to do that. I'm going to switch the list now to have Ruben Neves as the top target, with Camavinga as the lead second choice, with Declan Rice as the third choice. Would you agree with that so far? Let me know in the comments. But I would personally agree with that. That would be my choice. If I was going to choose those three on my own, I would choose those three. Neves as a top choice, Camavinga as second, and Declan Rice as the third choice at the moment. You got Sriaj, you're saying get Camavinga, he's fresh and young. Look, he absolutely is. And there's no way that you can rule out the fact that Camavinga could be an absolutely outstanding signing. At 18, he could come in and be fantastic. Jermaine, you're saying not propaganda. His stats say it all. Obviously, a lot of you, as you should have done, watched that video I did on Ruben Neves. I went through and really detailed comparison between Neves, Camavinga, Neves and Ndidi, Kante, Fabinho, compared them to the best defensive midfielders in the Premier League, and he stacked up. Aaron Ecker saying, Sam, can you do watch-alongs for games? I suppose I haven't really ever mentioned watch-alongs, and I hate to disappoint, but there's absolutely no chance I'm ever doing a watch-along. It's not my style. I don't ever want to be sat in front of a camera watching United play. It's not how I would enjoy the game as a fan. And I know there's so many of you that do enjoy watch-alongs because there's so many of you that can't get to games. And I understand that. And I'm not a slight against it. It's just you won't see me doing it. I'm hopefully going to be doing live reactions after the game this year, which will be a nice bit different. We can all get involved there. But in terms of the watch-along, it's not something you're ever going to get from me. I'm sorry about that. Abby, you're saying Ndidi first, Neves versus Neves for the top choice, Camavinga top second choice. Well, it's interesting. Let's keep going through the list and see what happens here. Got Al Williams saying Glazers will see a profit in the future with Camavinga. I mean, you're not wrong there, Al. In terms of the marketability and profitability, you're not going to get any better than Camavinga for 30 million now, because he's certainly going to become a better player. Lone Wanderer, how you doing, my friend? Saying, where do you think Ndidi would go? It's a really interesting one because it depends on it very much depends, and that's what we've got to do. We've got to go through the list. But who's next on the list? That'll be Saul Niguez. Now, Saul Niguez for me is a little bit of a rogue one. A bit of a rogue one, if I'm honest. Because Saul Niguez is not, by comparison of Ruben Neves, by comparison of Declan Rice, he is a completely different type of midfielder. He is very much a playmaker. He's very much someone who's gifted, far more gifted with the ball at his feet. And I imagine if we quickly look down here and look at his stats, it's going to really show that. Let's have a look. Accuracy in his own half, 92%. Accuracy per game. He's actually got less passes per game than the likes of Declan Rice and Ruben Neves, but he's more accurate. 76% in the opposition half. They're pretty similar. Interceptions, 0.6. And when you're looking at Ruben Neves, he's got, what, 1.8 per game? Yep. And 2.4 tackles. Interceptions, 0.6 from Saul Niguez. Only 1.7 tackles. Again, this compared to Ruben Neves. Ruben Neves had 2.4 tackles and 1.8. He's far better. Possession 1, 0.5 per game. 0.3. Actually, he wins the ball a little bit more than Ruben Neves. Let's have a look down here. Successful dribbles, 80%. That's going to be way more than Declan. Not that much more than him, but certainly more than him. And for me, it's just, it's obvious that he is far more of a playmaking central midfielder than the likes of Ruben Neves. And I think that's something that you have to take into consideration. That's why I say it's a bit of a rogue option, Saul Niguez, given the fact that we've got Paul Popper and Bruno Fernandes right now in the team. To have Saul Niguez would be a very aggressive signing. Abhishek, how you doing? Thanks for super chat, my friend. Saul Niguez's situation is a lot more like Ramos's back when we tried to sign him, but I wouldn't count him. Between the other two, I would flip a coin. Now, you let me know in the comments, where are you putting Saul Niguez in our tier list? Right now, we've got Ruben Neves as top. We've got Camavinga, and we've got Rice as the second choices, with Camavinga as a primary second choice. Where would you put Saul Niguez on that list? For me, he's a baller. 26, still got plenty of years ahead of him. He is a fantastic footballer. But in terms of ticking the boxes that Manchester United fans want to be ticked, in terms of the weaknesses that we have in our midfield, would you say that Saul Niguez ticks those boxes? I'll be interested to know. I'm going to head down to the comments now and see what you are all saying. We've got Lim. How you doing, Lim? Nice to see you, my friend, member of the gang. You're saying second choice. Abby, you're saying third choice. Anuj, you're saying he's a backup. Damadaya, you're saying a backup for Pogba. And I would kind of agree with that. But I would also say Donny van de Beek is a backup for Pogba. So why would you go out and sign someone like that when you've already got Niguez at the club? We've got, let's have a look down here. So many comments coming in. Keep interacting, everyone. I love all this. Lone Wanderer saying Niguez third choice. Niguez is a backup, says Stephen Weymouth. Manuel, you're saying, I love Saul, but he is a backup, not the piece we need at the moment. Brian, you're saying backup. Jack the Ripper, you would disagree. You're saying top option. But looking at the majority here, got Joel Shanker. How you doing? Jay Shanker saying Saul is a good player, but not what we need right now. And let's believe Saul will be surplus. Fourth choice for me. Looking at the majority of your opinions down here, I think we can probably all agree that we can put him down. And you're either going above Rice or below Rice. You let me know that. Let me know in the comments. Above or below? Where are we putting him? Above or below Declan Rice? So I was putting Saul Niguez as third or fourth choice. You let me know which one of those you want it to be. We've got Beats Prod. You're disagreeing, saying Neves isn't the top option. Currently, looking at the comments, Beats, that's what the people feel. That's really what people feel, that he is the best option at this particular moment in time. We haven't done the whole list yet. We've still got Goretzka to go through, and Ndidi to go through, and Zakaria to go through, maybe some other ones if you really think it. But look down at the comments here. Declan Rice is better, above Rice, below Rice, above, below. The majority of you, like Aki on Facebook, Anuj, Top Dog, Matt, you're all saying below. So I'm going to put him fourth choice. So we've got our four choices at the moment. We've got Neves as top, we've got Camavinga second with Rice third, and Saul Niguez as the fourth option. That's what it is at the moment. Doesn't mean it's going to stay like that. That's what it is at the moment. A quick pause before we move on to the next one. If you are watching and you're new, welcome to United People's TV, the live and interactive show. I answer all your comments. You get involved. You fire your comments in. You fire your super chats in. And it's a great show. Could you please subscribe if you are new? It's free. Get involved. It helps the community get bigger and better. If you do want to help the community out, you can become a member. There's a little join button down below. It's less than the price of a pint. So many of you have already joined and become members, and that money is getting reinvested in hiring a video editor straight away to improve the quality and the quantity of the content on the channel. If you're on Facebook, there's a link in the description of this video, and there's a video pinned on the Facebook page. I always get confused about that. But you can also help wherever you can. But the list so far there, we've got Neves, we've got Camavinga, we've got Rice, and we've got Niguez. Now we've got Leon Goretzka, who, again, it kind of came out of nowhere, I suppose, with Goretzka. We've never really been linked with him before. But Christian Falk, it all came out from Germany, that Manchester United were interested in, that we'd offered him, that we'd really offered him the wages that he wants. We've got Victor. I saw a comment from Victor, my good old friend, saying 50 mil plus Lingard for Rice. Do you think West Ham will accept him? Is that enough? I mean, it is a lot. It's too much, in fact, I would say. But Leon Goretzka, I would probably say, is a different option. They're all kind of different options here, aren't they? Declan Rice, a very different player to Camavinga, to Neves, to Niguez, and Goretzka is, if you're looking at maybe leaders, as someone said in the comments earlier, I think Goretzka's the best. Oh, sorry, too many comments coming in. Someone says Leon as first choice there, says Mo. Too many comments coming in, I actually clicked on the wrong thing. I personally think, and I'll say this now, and I've kind of maintained this the whole way through, I think Leon Goretzka will sign a new contract with Bayern Munich. I don't think he's leaving. And that's my own personal opinion. But in terms of looking at his stats, let's quickly scroll down here. Passing in his own half, wow, 94%. Accurate passes per game, 38, 88%. Accurate in the opposition half, 82%. He's leading in all three of those, I think, so far. Accurate long balls, 73%. I think he's even leading in that one. Tackles per game, 1.5. Interceptions per game, 1.8. Possessions, 1.3. He is leading. He is the stat man. The leading stat man for sure there is Leon Goretzka. That's an interesting one. I didn't actually know that. That's why you learn these things on the show. But you can let me know. And this is an excellent point here. Is Beat saying stats don't define how good the player is. You're absolutely spot on there. And I'm not saying use this to completely make your mind up on which player is suitable. But it's just interesting to compare them because you have to have something to compare because not everybody has been able to watch all the games from Goretzka and Niguez and Neves. In fact, none of us have because none of us can watch every single game every bloody week. And his heat map there, he's certainly playing higher up the pitch. If we compare him to someone like Declan Rice, for example, let's see his heat map. Not too dissimilar, maybe. No, he's certainly playing higher up the pitch. Saul Niguez, you would expect to play higher up the pitch. Kind of stuck out on the left wing. Ruben Neves, he plays, in terms positionally, Ruben Neves is certainly the most disciplined. Certainly plays in that. He plays in that pivot role. He plays there and he played it very, very well. Leon Goretzka, he's moving around a bit more. Declan Rice, where are you playing? You're hanging out on the left. So in terms of positionally, Ruben Neves has got the best heat map. But stat-wise, at the moment, Leon Goretzka's looking good. I'll be honest, I don't think that he's going to be leaving. But you can let me know. Where would you put Leon Goretzka in our tier list? Right now, we've got Neves, we've got Camavinga, Rice, and we've got Niguez. Where does Leon Goretzka lie in your list? Be interested to know this one. As I said, was it his best stat there? Is that tackling? Is that what TAC stands for? Was that tactical? So he's a very smart player, and you would expect that from a German footballer. They're very good. They've always been good, and it's only just now this year that I suppose Germany have flopped. Actually, no, they flopped last time as well. They got knocked out in the group stages. Let me head down to the comments here, see what you're saying. You got Victor saying, Ndidi is a must, please. Neves, Saul, Leon, Camavinga, and Rice. Ndidi is coming up next. Don't you worry about that, Victor. But what do you think about Leon Goretzka? Let me go down here and look at the comments. We've got Ram, you're saying top after Neves. Peter saying if we could definitely land him, he'd be top, no doubt. Frodo, you're saying Leon will stay at Bayern Munich. Man United must be ruthless, says Craig, and get Leon or Neves. No tiptoeing around. JJ, you're saying top. Lee Allen, you're saying top. Madzek, you're saying top. You got Anna saying Neves is the obvious choice for me. Leon is second. I'll tell you what. Got Beat saying he's above Neves. Leon first. Not an option, says Ian Houghton. Top, says Adwaita. I'll tell you what. There's so many of you saying top here. I don't think I can really ignore it. Let me quickly go up here. I can't see that comment anymore, so I can't get rid of it. Oh, my God. Too many comments coming in here. There we go. I'll tell you what. Leon Goretzka's got to go up there. I've got to put him there. He's definitely on that top target list. I think it would be fair to say that I'm going to put him alongside Ruben Neves as a top target. That's not to say that Ruben Neves is definitely a prime target ahead of him, but looking at so many of you have said you'd like to see us sign Neves, and so many of you have said that we want to see it. Look, I'll tell you what. Look, let's go top. Maybe my propaganda is getting too strong here. But Leon Goretzka clearly would be an absolutely outstanding elite level. And if you're looking at the ambition of Manchester United and what I've been saying the whole way through, we've gone out and signed Jadon Sancho at right wing. We've gone out and signed Raphael Varane at centre back, two of the best players in the world in their respective positions. Someone like Leon Goretzka, elite level, 26 years of experience at Bayern Munich with Germany. No one could really argue how good a player he would be. We've got Jonas here saying, why is Jack Grealish not on your list? First of all, we're not even slightly going after Jack Grealish this summer. Never happening. And also, it's a very different type of midfielder to what we need, unless Paul Pogba believes. But right now, look, Leon Goretzka's top of the list. It's Leon Goretzka and Ruben Neves with Camavinga, Declan Rice, and Saul Niguez. And we move on to the next one. And I tell you what, this is where it might start getting interesting. And that's Wilfred Ndidi. Because Wilfred Ndidi, on paper, he's going to be the man stat wise. Heat map wise, look at that. Only Ruben Neves has got a heat map like that by comparison. He is a defensive midfielder. He is a man who knows his position and plays it extremely, extremely well. In terms of the passing, look at that. Accurate passes per game, 47. Not sure anybody compares to that. 47. I suppose it's near enough about. 87% in his accurate per game, 88 in his own half, 85 in the opposition half. Interceptions per game. This is where he blows everyone away. It's not going to be no one's going to get near Ndidi in the stats here. 2.3 interceptions per game and 3.7 tackles per game and 2 clearances per game. Let's compare that with Declan Rice, for example. 1.8, 1.8, 1.1. Leon Goretzka, what about you? We're looking at 1.8, 1.5, and 0.4. Wilfred Ndidi, stat-wise, defensively, absolutely dominant. And if we're looking at what Manchester United truly need, can we really argue for the fact that Manchester United need an out-and-out defensive midfielder? I don't think we can. So this is going to be an interesting one. You let me know where you're putting Wilfred Ndidi on your target list. Where does he lie? Is he really the player that we need? Do we need someone who's more of a possession-based midfielder like Saul Niguez, or someone like maybe like Ruben Neves who's a bit of an all-rounder? Or, that's 1 second, can't go down there. Or someone like Eduardo Camavinga, who is an 18-year-old raw prospect. Where do you put Wilfred Ndidi in that list? You let me know in the comments and I will go down and read them out. A couple of super chats coming in here. One from Vicky. How you doing, Vicky? Nice to see you, my friend. Pogba is a great but inconsistent and comes with a big circus. Rather take Neves, maybe not as good, but fits us like a glove. Less money and less drama. I'm not really sure what's going on with Paul Pogba. Still, that's going to be developing over the next few weeks. Let's see what happens there. Another few comments coming in here. One from Anuj saying, Ndidi, Neves, Goretzka, that's your top 3. Let me see what we're seeing down here. I'll tell you what, that's probably somebody I should have added to the list. Frank Kessie, I really loved what he did for AC Milan. We haven't really been linked with him. But let me see where you would put Wilfred Ndidi in this list. Let's have a look. Jay Shanky, you're saying best CDM after Kante, but again, that Premier League tax would make this transfer super unlikely. Plus, Leicester is a well-run club, unlike Real. Look, as I said before, I think Leicester have already signed, what's his face, Soumer from Lille. So they've already got an extra player in there. So maybe they could afford to let him go. Lone Wanderer saying, I'll make a bet with you, Sam. If we sign either Ndidi or Neves, then I'll donate 100 because either of those two I would love. Look, I'll donate 100. I'll buy, I don't know, I'll do a giveaway or something. If we sign Neves, my God, I'll get a Neves tattoo. I will not get a Neves tattoo, so I'm not going to say that live on stream, or you're going to hold me against that. Let's have a look. Ndidi first, says Rohan. You're saying very top. Arturo Vidal. That's a rogue one. Ndidi will be the top target, says Daniel. Let me see what's going down here. First choice, says Saeed. Top target, says Ronan. Daniel, you're saying top. Second, says Frode. Let's go down. Kante is a CM, not a CDM. I don't know. He's incredible. There's nothing. He's absolutely incredible. Anuj, you're saying top target. First Ndidi, second Neves. We're saying bottom because we will never sign him. Well, you can't say that, my friend, and then get excited about Leon Goretzka, given the fact that he's going to sign a new contract with Bayern Munich, most likely. So, judging by this, I'll tell you what, I'm not really surprised. I'm really not surprised. I suppose that means I've got to put Neves down as second choice because you can only really have 2 top targets. And Ndidi and Goretzka, would you say that that's fair to put that as the 2 top targets with Neves, Camavinga, Rice, and Niguez as second choice targets? You let me know what you think in the comments below. Propagese, I sit and oh, fuck's sake, no. I do want to get a new tattoo, but I don't want to get Ruben Neves on me. Jesus Christ. Stat-wise, Ndidi might be first. Yes, he's not just stat-wise, but in terms of literally looking exactly what Manchester United need, Wilfred Ndidi ticks those boxes, I suppose, far more than any other ones. And it depends whether you think that, whether you really truly feel that we need a pure defensive midfielder or we need someone who's a bit of a more all-rounder. We've got Steven saying, I would swap Neves with Goretzka. We've got Kissio saying Neves next to Ndidi. Neves instead of Neves, says Sumit. Okay, that's a bit confusing. Neves and Ndidi and Leon. Drop Rice down, says Cameron. You don't like Rice. Let's have a look here. I'll be honest, I personally would do this simply out of the fact that I don't think Goretzka's happening. Absolutely. I don't think there's any chance that we sign Leon Goretzka. As good a central midfielder as he would be, I think Manchester United will be left chasing a player that is the only reason he's going to be available this summer is because he's on a free transfer next summer and Bayern Munich will lose him for a free. That's the only reason they would sell him. And I don't think he's going to leave. I think he's going to sign a new contract. So for me, that's why I would switch that around. Looking at the comments, a lot of you are saying that as well. You're disagreeing. You're saying Leon is second choice and Neves is first choice. You're saying Neves is first choice as Emil on Facebook because he's Portuguese and he'll link up with Bruno. Anikat saying Rice is too pricey. The price is not Rice. So let's see what goes on here. But I like doing these tier lists. These tier lists are good fun. I don't think you can really argue with Ndidi as a top choice. And I love Ruben Neves. But out of the two, who do I think would be like the powerhouse signing? I think it would probably be Ndidi. Got a comment here from, where did that go? Ricky Thompson saying, can you see Facebook comments? Yes, I can see the Facebook comments, my friend. They both come in. It's just the fact that on the YouTube comments, I've got members that come up a lovely different color because they deserve to come up a different color because they're members. Like Stephen Wayne was saying, Neves knows the Premier League. We need stability in the coming season. Look, Ndidi and Neves both know the Premier League. And look, Oladimeji. Sorry about that. Ndidi is just the best central defensive midfielder we can get right now. I would completely agree with that, my friend. He is absolutely brilliant. And he could be outstanding. Oh, Gazmo, how you doing, my friend? What are you doing? Take it easy. Wow, what a super chat. Wow, thank you very much, man. I feel honored. Just behaving like a sneak peek while I'm at work. Must go now before my staff catch me on my phone. Lucky I pay their salary. Make it last, Sam. Big up to you. Hopefully you're not sleeping outside, my friend. But Gazmo, look, we've got Ndidi. We've got Neves as the two top choices at the moment. And then we've got Goretzka, Camavinga, Rice, and Niguez in that order at the moment. It's not completely and utterly confirmed, but that's what it is at the moment. Who else have we been linked with? Let's go on. This one's a bit tentative. And I'll be honest, I'm not really sure if I even should have added him to the list here. But Dennis Zakaria, I haven't watched much of him. There's plenty of you that have mentioned him before. So I thought I'd throw him on the list. Let me know what you think about Dennis Zakaria. Do you think that's somebody who Manchester United should be looking at? Do you think that's somebody who really could make a difference? Obviously played with Switzerland at Euro 2020. Let me know what you think about him. Let's have a quick look at his stats and see how he compares with other players. Comment here, couple of comments coming here first. Ritesh saying, Ndidi and Neves for top two, no doubt. Premier League boys know the essence of English football, so we should go for them. Got Neves over Ndidi, says Zaneboy. Ndidi too pricey. I didn't know there was a Glazer in the comments. Oh. But anyway, Dennis Zakaria plays out for Borussia Mönchengladbach out in Germany. How is he? Look at that stats. Only 22 passes per game, not that many. Very accurate in his own half, decent in the opposition half, but doesn't have the ball much. Interceptions per game, 0.9, 1.2. And look, when you're comparing that to the King, really, 2.3 and 3.7. Per 90, he has 6 tackles or interceptions. That's absolutely outstanding. You can see why people love him so much. But you let me know where we're putting Camavinga on this, not Camavinga, sorry, Zakaria on this list. You let me know. See, can I add anybody? I can't add anybody else into this. But Zakaria, I think I'm going to take the executive option here. I'm probably just going to put him there. I don't really think that's something that we should really talk about too much. I think there's too many good options here. Stephen, you actually think he shouldn't be on this list? That's not good enough for Manchester United. But is there any central defensive midfielders, says Craig, on the free market? I actually haven't looked, but I imagine it would probably be an average midfielder if there was someone on the free list. Otherwise, we'd already be after them, wouldn't we? Terence saying, your stats will be inflated if you play in the German league. The prime example is Sancho. Well, actually, it's completely the opposite because Zakaria's stats aren't that good. But look, right, if this is our list, let's zoom in here. Let's bring it nice and central. We've got 7 midfielders here. What would you change from this list? You let me know in the comments and we'll have a nice discussion about it. But right now, we've got Wilfred Ndidi as the top choice with Ruben Neves as the backup to him. We've got Leon Goretzka here and the second choice list just ahead of Eduardo Camavinga with Declan Rice and Saul Niguez as the backup options. And the absolute backup option here, we've got Dennis Zakaria. Would you say what would you think about that list? Would you think that's the right list? What do you think? Look, Cragen saying I can't believe Basuma's not on this list. I'll be honest, I forgot about Basuma, and I'll be honest, we haven't been linked with Basuma whatsoever. I don't think we've actually been linked with Zakaria, but other than Zakaria, we've been linked with every single one of these midfielders, whether that be tentatively or not. We've been linked with them this summer. You're not the only one. Abby, you're saying Basuma as well there for Saul Niguez. But let me see what you're thinking in the comments below. Let's have a look here. We've got Cameron saying drop Rice down and raise Zakaria. Rice's price is not good enough. It would certainly be a lot of money for Rice. We all know that. Jay Shanker, you're saying Neves over Ndidi. Sriyaj saying that Ndidi all the way. That's what we need. We've got Dabo saying Kessie. Look, I'll be honest, I should have put Frank Kessie in only because I was so impressed by watching him for AC Milan that we should have had him. Anna, you're saying perfect. Ndidi all day long, says Mudega. Beat saying all these midfielders are different types of players. Exactly that, my friend. We're getting linked with tons of players all around the shop. And there's not really an absolute... I mean, there is an absolute standout target in terms of the weaknesses that Manchester United have. But they're all very different. I completely agree with that. I'm not saying that they're all completely central midfielders because you can go... Someone experienced like Leon Goretzka, you could put him as a top target. Someone who's 26, who's played with Bayern Munich for so long, he's great and he could add so much. Or you could say, no, sod that. I want to get Eduardo Camavinga in. He's 18, he's raw. He could become a world-class player at Manchester United. We should be going after him. And then you go, no, you're an idiot. What are you going after him for? We should be putting him, oh no, yeah. We should be going after Wilfred Ndidi, the absolute out-and-out defensive midfield choice. Or you can go, no, well, I like Ndidi, but I'd rather sign Neves, who for me is 24. He's Portuguese. You can expect the link up with Bruno. There are arguments, I genuinely feel, for most of these players. It depends how strongly you feel about each individual section and which is the most important aspect. For me, we've got Daz who's saying, I can't look past Premier League proven. We get burned so many times. You know, we do get burned so many times, but then when you scout right and you do it right, you sign players like Bruno Fernandes who come in and change the game all day long. But in terms of if Manchester United are really going for a pure 4-3-3 formation next season and we keep Pogba and Bruno, then someone like Ndidi slots in at the bottom of that midfield three and is the king of that, the absolute king of that. No one really compares to him. Ruben Neves, I know this, honestly, this blew my mind. This still blows my mind every single time, Yazul. Ruben Neves is 24. Look, he's 24. His birthday, by the way, my birthday, big up 13th of March. Oh, look, I left a different comment on there. I'm not sure we actually need a midfield destroyer, says Ant. Like Ndidi once we sign Varane. His pace will allow him to almost play as a sweeper. A Carrick-style player might be better for progression through the thirds. Now, that is an excellent comment, Ant. A really excellent comment. And that's why I think there's a real argument to be had about whether Ndidi genuinely is going to be our top target. Because I'm not sure whether he is. And I'm not sure whether Ruben Neves is the man that's going to be that progressive midfielder. If we're looking at progressive midfielders, you're probably then going, what? Okay. Or Saul Niguez, you get bumped right up here, my friend. And it depends. It very much depends on what Manchester United... And this is probably why... Hey, look at that. I don't know whether you're lying or not, Fozley, but you're saying 13th March, also your birthday. Big up 13th Marches. It very much depends. And I think this is probably why... Let me go full screen here, because this is a very, very good comment, Ant, and a very important point. I think it's probably why we haven't signed a defensive mid already. With Jadon Sancho, it's clear. Right winger, first choice, obvious. With Varane, top choice centre-back, it's obvious. Perfect. Compliments Maguire. With this midfield signing, it very much depends on if Paul Pogba leaves and on what our formation is truly going to be next season. And I think both of those really depend on whether Paul Pogba stays or not. Because if Paul Pogba leaves, maybe someone like Saul Niguez can come in. If Paul Pogba stays, maybe someone like Ndidi is the perfect destroyer to sit at the bottom of those midfield three. Or maybe we're going to go for someone who's a bit more rounded, like Ruben Neves, who can progress the ball forward, isn't an absolute destroyer, but can do everything well. It really is an interesting debate that we can have. Got Ram saying, this list is right for now. Ndidi has the Premier League experience, same as for Neves, but can they handle Champions League levels? Ndidi's already played it, I think, with Leicester. Neves hasn't, but there's nothing to say that Neves can't step up. And that's something that when I spoke to Thomas Boff, the Wolves fan, with that video, I did a nice interview. If you haven't watched it, that's something that he was really interested to see. He goes, I'm really excited to see what happens with Ruben Neves next, because I've seen him so often at Wolves that I know he's a fantastic player, but can he do that at Champions League level? That's what he wants to see with Neves, and that's the question mark around Neves for sure. Is he capable of going to step up? And if he is, then Neves would be an outstanding signing. And Neves beats saying Neves is not a Pogba replacement at all. No one's a Pogba replacement. I don't think we're going to replace Paul Pogba. I think that we're going to get Donny van de Beek coming through and getting the game time he deserves. That's my own opinion. We've got JJ saying, can you have a look at the stats of Paulina, please? I don't actually know who Paulina is. Let me have a look. Who is Paulina? Corinthians. That's a woman. I think you might spell his name wrong. I have no idea who Paulina is. So I can't do that, JJ. Apologies about that. I'll look at him maybe a little bit further down the line. But this is our list at the moment. And I think, I'll be honest, I'm quite happy with this list. I think Ndidi, if you're looking at the pure destroyer midfielder, and we're going towards building a proper 4-3-3 with two attacking midfielders with one holding midfielder, Ndidi is a top choice in that respect. But at the same time, I would probably put these two alongside each other. That's why I'm putting them both in the top target. I couldn't choose. If we signed either of them, I would be so happy. If we signed Ndidi or Neves, they'd both be outstanding signings, in my opinion. Second choice, Goretzka. I would personally switch those two around, only because I don't think there's any chance of us getting Goretzka. I think Goretzka's going to sign it. Camavinga is an exciting 18-year-old. Would he want to join Manchester United, or does he want to move to Spain? We don't know, but let's see what goes on there. Tony Pereira with a comment. How you doing, Tony? Member of the gang. If anybody else wants to become a member, just hit the join button down below. It's less than the price of a pint. I always give you priority shout-outs on the comments throughout all the live streams, as you might have noticed by now. It's because you remember. You deserve the shout-outs. And you're saying, Tony, with the high line we play with Sancho and Varane, do I think McTominay can't do the deeper midfield position? Look, if we do not sign a midfielder, Tony, I think we're going to see McTominay play that role quite a bit this season. I don't know whether he can play that role completely and competently just yet. In my own opinion, I'm not really completely sure. You have to learn it on the job. And given that we've gone out and we've got world-class in as a right winger in Jadon Sancho and world-class at Varane, it'll be a bit of a risk to take that risk on McTominay. But if we don't sign a midfielder this summer, we're going to be seeing McTominay playing as a defensive midfielder. I think it's going to be a huge risk. I personally think he's better as a box-to-box player. He's certainly better in a double pivot than he would be on his own. But if we don't sign one, that's who's going to play there quite a lot this season. Let's have a look at the comments here, see what you're all saying. Look, it's got Temsu saying Ndidi would be expensive. Yeah, but Sancho was expensive. Varane was cheap as hell somehow. But when you pay for the best players, you pay big prices for the best players who are going to add a real difference. There's an interesting comment there from Kareem saying, Sam, why don't we add Højbjerg? He's a perfect destroyer, better than Ndidi. I don't think he's going to be leaving Spurs anytime soon. And he certainly does bring the ball forward quite a bit. But in terms of an absolute destroyer, you're not going to get better than Wilfred Ndidi. It's just whether or not you think we need a pure destroyer or somebody who's got a little bit more to his game. Pogba, you're saying Kelvin Phillips is your preference. He played okay for England in Euro 2021, but I'm not sure. I'm still a little bit unsure about him. Daz Sweet, you're saying we need a cast iron central defensive midfielder. All we have is Matic. And that, in that sense, there's nobody better than Ndidi. And if Manchester United are going out, and I've said this here, if Manchester United are going out and signing the best right winger in Jadon Sancho and the best centre-back in Raphael Varane, then you've got to go out and you've got to sign the best central midfielder. And that is Wilfred Ndidi. But that's a really interesting list we made there. And I'll be honest, what would I change? If I'm going to put my own opinion on this, I would put Declan Rice above Goretzka because he's just going to sign a new contract. So you can just go way down there. You're not even on my list. You're just going to sign a new contract. Out of Declan Rice, I'd probably put Rice above Saul Niguez. Would I? Nah, hell no. Declan Rice is way too much money. That's probably what my list would be. My own personal opinion. Only because I think that Leon Goretzka screams of a Sergio Ramos. He's signing a new contract. Don't waste our time going anywhere near him. As good as he could be for Manchester United, and we looked at it, he would be a great player. We're just going to get fucked around there. Dennis Zakaria, I haven't watched enough of him, but I'd still put him above Leon Goretzka simply for the fact that we're just going to get balls around with Brozovic. Not Brozovic, sorry. I've seen that in the comments here. Declan Rice, way too much money. I think he's probably going to be priced out of a move this summer, if I'm being completely honest. And I think he's probably going to stay at West Ham. And I think he's probably going to leave next year for like 50, 60 million. Saul Niguez, hey, he'd be a great player. He'd be a great signing. Be a very aggressive signing. Not really the pure defensive midfielder that we need, but it's not to say he'll be a bad signing. Camavinga, he is clearly exciting. 18, an unknown entity, and my own personal preference of signings. I love seeing Manchester United sign young and upcoming players because I love seeing them establish themselves as world stars at Manchester United. I love watching that growth of a player at the club. It's some of my favorite. Obviously, Ronaldo and Rooney are the two examples that always stand out, but you've got Vidic, you've got Evra, you've got Carrick, you've got so many players who came to United with talent who just became better players at Manchester United. And I love watching that career growth. And that's why someone like Camavinga as a signing is so exciting to me and probably exciting to you as well. Let's have a look here. Quite a few of you are saying Renato Sanchez. Obviously, he came back out of the dust, played in Euro 2021. Had a bad, was it, where did he join? Renato Sanchez. Was it, I can't remember where he went. But after, was it Euro 2018 when he broke through? I think it was. Anyway, I can't be asked. He's not on my list. But Wilfred Ndidi, he's top of the list here. And I think that's completely fair. I've really enjoyed that one. I really, really enjoyed that. And I think, I'll be honest, I think you're all spot on. Well, I think I'm spot on now that I've changed the order of my list. But Ndidi or Neves, either of those two, we'd be very, very happy with it. If there's any more questions you want to ask me, keep firing them in the comments. I'll answer your questions for the next 5 minutes. Keep firing in your super chats too. And if you would, please become a member and support the channel. It really does help. And as you've seen, I'm just investing that money straight back in the channel. We're bringing a video editor on. That's going to be exciting. Going to be bringing out, because I know so many of you enjoy the live streams, but so many of you loved the short and snappy videos that I used to do. The 10 to 15 minute videos, nice and concise, information packed. I'm going to be intending to bring 2 of those a week out on top of the live streams, on top of the match reaction. So I'll tell you what, the content is getting cranked up to the gigawatts this coming season. So make sure you subscribe if you can. Make sure you become a member if you can. It is all exciting. Abby, you're saying that is what any United fan is proud of. Young players coming through. Really, that's probably what it is, my friend. You know, we all love seeing academy players come through and flourish, whether that's Marcus Rashford, whether that's, off the top of my head, I can't actually think of any. That's what you call a brain fart when you're going live. But Mason Greenwood, there's tons and there's too many to name. Let me see what you're saying in the comments. Sam, please stop saying my own personal opinion. You can't give an opinion on behalf of someone else, can you? That's a very fair point. In my own opinion, you are correct, John. I'll leave you there. As I said, if you'd love to be involved as a video editor on United People's TV, email me, info@thepeoplesperson.com. You come over there, get involved, and something that you should all get involved in, and it's completely free of charge. I'll drop the link in the description now. Look in the chat. Come and join our Discord. It's free. There's thousands of Reds on there. Come and join in. It's really good fun. Lots of conversations happening every day. As I said, just click that link. Come over to our Discord. It's free, and you can get involved. And if you become a member, there's a private channel on there where different other conversations go on. Let's have a look at the comment here before we wrap up. Dad's saying, sell Pogba, buy Rice, and bring in Hannibal. That's interesting. Hannibal, I'm looking forward to seeing how he does this season. Clearly an excellent prospect. Manoel, you're saying, are we even linked with Ndidi? I mean, not someone wrote something, blah, blah, blah. Not as much as we've been linked with Neves. It doesn't mean that we can't have him as our top target, but in terms of the players who we've been linked with, Neves, we've certainly been linked with a lot. Camavinga, we've been linked with plenty. Niguez and Rice, we've been linked with all 4 of those players more than we've been linked with Ndidi. It's just that at this particular moment in time, we haven't been linked with him. It doesn't mean that we won't be over the next few weeks, but I think over the next 2-3 weeks, we're going to be seeing a lot of links to Lingard leaving, Pereira leaving, Jones, Dalot, maybe Paul Pogba too. The next few weeks will be linked more with players being sold rather than the defensive midfield signing. And I think that third signing is probably going to come in the last 2-3 weeks of the transfer window. I think the season would have already started by the time that we sign a defensive midfielder, if we signed one. I've got Eduardo, you're saying, what's the email again? It's info. I'll type it in the comments now. I'll leave it in the chat. It's info@thepeoplesperson.com. You fire an email over there if you'd like to get involved and become a video editor on the channel. So many of you have already applied. I'm going to give it a day or two more and let all of you keep applying, because I'd like to get involved in the channel. It's important to have members of the community come on board. But look, that's it for today's show. Big up to everyone. Big up to Orgasmo for that big super chat, and to Victorium as well. Big up to anybody who sent super chats in. Honestly, it's such a big help for the channel, and I hope it doesn't sound beggy when I keep mentioning it, but that's what helps the channel take it forward. Any money I'm making is only going to be reinvested. Make sure you follow me on Twitter @SamPeoples_. That's my personal account, or @United Peoples TV. That's the main show. Main account. But I enjoyed this show. This is our tier list. We've gone Ndidi and Neves as our top two, with Camavinga, Neves, and Rice as our second choices, and down on the backup options, I've left Goretzka there only because I don't think we should really think about him, because we're going to get mugged off. Zakaria, I only put him there because people wanted him to. I haven't really watched him. I don't really know or rate. He might be a good player. He might not be. But if you're new and you're still here, I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure you drop a like on the video on YouTube and on Facebook. It really does help. Subscribe if you're new. If you want to become a member, there's a little join button down there, cheaper than the price of a pint, and it all helps the channel. Thank you all for joining in today. If anything happens across the day, you know I'll be here. I'll be live. But until next time, take it easy.